They start posting pictures of them out having fun with other attractive women. And then the women that they used to like say, hey, you've changed. Right before those women sleep with those men. Women with anxious psychological attachment styles tend to love drama-rich environments and narcissists who sell fantasies like the Tinder swindler. I could see that too. I've definitely lost out. The girl, I say I'm physically attracted to her, and then I see the guy that she's with, and then I'm just very confused. But what I don't understand, because I'm not capable of this, is he provides chaos that I can't provide. And so I'm like, because there's always this thing I couldn't figure out, like, why is she with him? He provides a certain level of chaos. He provides a ticket on the roller coaster that I just don't have. If I like something, I'm going to tell you I like it. If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you I don't like it. And when I'm busy, I'm going to go to work. And when I'm not busy, I'm going to be spending time with you. I'm very simple. When I'm hungry, I'm going to tell you I'm hungry. When I want sex, I'm going to tell you I want sex. Very simple. I don't provide chaos into my relationship. When I see other guys that are able to do that, there's a certain type of woman that they can attract that I've always been confused by that when I see it from the outside looking in. Marriage causes divorce. Who is worse, the male narcissist with the disorder or the woman addicted to the drama and the fantasies that the narcissists sell? So narcissists they're like vampires. They want what's called narcissistic supply, which is basically me getting an effect out of you, draining you, hurting you, whatever the thing I need. And your effect, your anger or whatever, I'm getting energy from it, almost like an energy vampire. Like, you know what I'm saying, from like what we do in the shadows, like an energy vampire. So that's what narcissists want to do. The thing is, who is to blame? Terrible. I don't know. I don't know the answer is. I think the narcissist is probably worse than the woman who gets, her who wants the drama. But it sucks. Like we are but it's so funny. It's so funny.
Stockholm syndrome is a real thing.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question, ladies. Let me ask you, ladies. You or someone you know has gone on a date with a man you had no intention of having sex with. Has that ever happened? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Yes. All of you ladies know, or you yourself, or someone who went on a date with a man you would have no intention of having sex with. Do you know any guy who goes on a date and spends money with a woman he is not interested in having sex with? Have you ever heard of that? No. It does not happen.
Definitely not. Unless it's his sister or mom.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I've done this on multiple times where if I know that I am not interested and you've taken the time out, I actually pay for dinner.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a huge,
that would be a
huge sign right there.
For the dinner. But I let you know early on, like, hey, look, like, I'm not going to sleep with you. I think you're really cool. I love the fact that you work in the Raiders Stadium and you probably get free Raiders tickets. So I accepted this date, and I'm just going to let you know right now. But I will pay for dinner, and we're going to go smoke.
Good on you.
Yeah, I've done that like twice.
That's nice.
Whoa, sex. No,
anyway, so the point I was trying to make is there's another thing. Like if we were a man, if I'm a man,
romance me a little bit.
I'm trying to think. If we were in a relationship with someone who was as big and strong as us and they were beating us, we would just leave. I'm sorry, most men would just be like, I don't want this, and I would leave. Yet women often will stay in these relationships for long periods of time with men that are physically abusive, and it's very confusing for us on the outside looking in. Which goes hold on before you say what you're going to say. Which goes back to Sadia's thing about what I call equilibrium. If you grow up around a lot of chaos becomes where you find your equilibrium, and that's how, like, for as men, we can't comprehend this idea of going on a date with someone we wouldn't want to have sex with, or being in a relationship with someone who physically abuses us. There's just things like of course we would never do this, but women will do that, and so it's very confusing for us as men. The other thing, though, is that when we talk about borderline, histrionic narcissism, or antisocial personality disorder, there's a certain piece of that is genetic, especially with antisocial personality disorder. So a genetic necessity for chaos might also be in there. But one thing I've noticed as a man, when we talk about red flags, when I see a woman who is consistently complaining about her last 3 exes being the same way, they're all narcissists. And they might actually be. They're all crazy. They all treated her bad. At some point, if you have 5, if you've had 10 roommates and all the roommates you have a problem with, eventually you're the roommate with the problem. Eventually you have to come to the realization you're the roommate with the problem.
I've come to the conclusion that narcissism is a cope. It's seriously, when women say, the last guy I was with was a narcissist.
That's I think a lot of times it is.
No, that's a
I think
cope.
The term is abused, but I definitely think that
I think some of them are. I've seen some dudes who are pretty bad. Like they're
that's why I kept
beating the shit out of
women. We had Jesse Preston on last week, and I was like, when you get to like attention seeking versus like true narcissism, where's the threshold right there? Because unless you can tell me that, it's a cope.
Yeah, I dated two. So the two guys I dated back to back, one was absolutely a narcissist, and the next one was just batshit crazy and wasn't loved as a child and was super attention seeking. And because
what do you think made him a narcissist?
Like super clingy.
the first one,
Yeah.
what made him a narcissist was this is so tough.
Do you think do you think women are making it a cope, or the psychological community
Well, a
community
little
is
of
making it a
both.
cope?
I think it's. I think
They're
it's-
feeding into
I
each
think,
other.
I was going to say. I think the psychology community like realizes that women love to use that as sort of a rationale to explain why they like their relationships aren't working, and so therefore it's men's fault. So, well, what can we what can we say? Well, it's either he's a narcissist or the guy is like clingy and codependent.
Yeah.
Those are usually the two.
So wait, back to what you were saying. What about him? Like, do you think made him a narcissist?
So what made him a narcissist, in my opinion, was his upbringing. He was the prize child of his family. He could do no wrong. He was raised with his mother, who has 2 brothers and 7 sisters, and all of the women. He was the first grandchild. He was just the prize of the family. He was everything but a pillow princess, and even that sometimes. And it was just, he just thought he was the prize, and
Pillow
everything
princess,
was
like he wouldn't go
fueled-
down on you? What do you mean?
Oh, absolutely. They all do that. But
No, but that's what pillow princess means. That's what pillow princess.
I know what it
Yeah.
means. I know what it means. He didn't want to ever like get it popping. It's not that he wouldn't. Well, eventually over time, like he did
Yeah.
everything right, but that was because we were together a long time. But no, he was sometimes a pillow princess because he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm the prize." Like want to put his hands back.
Yeah,
and
but
just,
like, ladies,
you do
pillow
the
princess
show.
means when you have a threesome and there's one girl in there who's not as gay as the other
It's
one.
not always a threesome.
No, I'm saying where I got the term pillow
Oh,
princess
okay.
from. Pillow princess means like you're having a threesome and there's one girl you bring in and she's not as gay as the other one, and so she won't go down on one girl, but she'll let girls go down on her. That's a pillow princess because her head's on the pillow.
Pillow princess is where you lay back and you let the other do
learned
all.
something new
Yeah,
today.
But you don't do any work. My
You
point
don't
is
do
you don't do
any
any
work.
work. Yeah, that's what
I actually
Anywhere.
learned something in
you
this.
did. Okay, ready, guys?
Sorry.
Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is a mental health condition in which a person believes they are better than everyone else. While many people have narcissistic traits, people with NPD have problems that affect their lives, relationships, and everyday life. People with NPD may appear arrogant with an inflated self-image and disregard for the feelings of others. NPD is a part of a cluster of personality disorders with symptoms of intense and unstable emotions and distorted self-image. It usually starts in early adult years and affects more men than women. So
Was that your guy?
I thought, yeah. So things, once you say the definition, I can go, it rung some details in. So his emotional intelligence was also almost non-existent. To be raised by all women, you would think
That's because
that you
there's
would
no
have
such
that.
thing as emotional intelligence.
Okay, awareness then. Let's say that. Like emotional awareness, empathy. It was almost non-existent. He was a good person in general. He would be a good friend. But then when it came to women or just anyone that he was supposed to be seen as an equal to, he had to make it abundantly clear that he was not equal. To me, to any girl he dated, anyone in the past and future. Like that's just what his standard was. Like you are not the prize, I am. So flock to me.
Can I throw something out here? And maybe
That's like such a
Tristan
turn
will,
off.
because
Yeah.
Tristan,
Such a
the
turn off.
psychology major here. So do you think that perhaps because we want to so readily apply or diagnose guys with narcissism, do you think, because I hear this all the time from people who complain, like especially women who complain about the red pill, those red pill guys are turning into narcissists. Oh my God. Is it because they suddenly sacked up and found their nuts and now they're like seem like maybe they're a little bit arrogant, maybe they're a little bit more self-important?
I think it's the
maybe
fact
they
that
have a
like
higher
they can change their
self-esteem
attractiveness, and then that's what is.
Well, because what is the most common thing we hear about guys today is that they're pussies. They need to man up. They need to, they're lost boys. They need a direction. I mean, we need more masculine men, not less masculine men, because we have had such less masculine men for a long time. So what happens is when that guy finally says, you know what, you're right, I'm going to man up a little bit. You man up 10% more, suddenly you're a narcissist. Because you care more about yourself than you do about the opinions of.
Saying like the narcissism's relative.
Well, put it this way: like women
But shouldn't it depend
women
on
no
how they
longer
treat somebody?
Well, women no longer become the focus of that guy's life, right? Her estimate of women's estimate of that guy is not what he bases his own self-worth on. Suddenly when that happens, everybody says, oh, he's a narcissist because he's thinking about himself more than he's thinking about me.
These are traits. So I think here's where I would draw the line. I would draw the line here. If a woman and a man have a conversation and the man is very forthright, says, hey, listen, I'm going to sleep with other women. I'm not going to be beholden to you. We're not going to be in a monogamous relationship. I'm going to do whatever I want. They continue to sleep together and she expects him to change and he doesn't change. Often I hear women call calling that man a narcissist, but he was totally and completely honest. I know, this is what I'm saying. This is where I'm drawing the line. Where I draw the line is when the man is deliberately like lying to the woman in order to try to have sex with them with no regards for her feelings or anyone else's. That would be closer to narcissism to me. Both things are possible, but my point is I often hear women complain about these dudes, and then when I talk to the guys, they're like, yeah, she was fucking crazy. She would break up with me, and then she'd get back, and she threatened to kill herself and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, I only heard half the story. And she was using that word as, like you said, a cope or like a leverage point in order for her to win the argument. If the
I've noticed people say that about you guys every time I go out. I'm like, don't come on the every time I hear this, every time I go out, you guys are narcissists.
Well, like for instance, like maybe you can answer this question. Like you have the guys in MOA, the guys who actually like ratchet it up. They actually take it to heart and they build themselves up from something that they weren't, and now they become something bigger. Do you hear it from them? They say, "Well, women now think I'm like super self-important and that I'm full of myself now because I've been part of MOA for so long, and now because I was so low that I came up just a top. I'm not like here. This maybe narcissism is up here, but I'm up like here because I was going to MOA, and now suddenly it's like I care about myself. I'm actually prioritizing myself more than I was before, and now suddenly I'm a narcissist.
What you're describing is a percentage of men, and it's a situation where a woman is calling a man a narcissist, but he's not a narcissist. She's just never heard no before.
Well, if
this is the first time she's ever heard no.
If the average guy is just this simpering piece of shit, right, and he suddenly becomes not that, I think.
You're saying comparatively I'm
thinking that
like
women's like maybe the ladies can answer this for me. Like, is the estimate like of the average guy so low that when that guy just levels up just one single level, that suddenly he becomes like a narcissist, or suddenly he becomes like more self-important and he seems like he's arrogant?
I think arrogance and narcissism are two vastly different things.
I think so too.
Yeah.
What he's saying is, we've had our guy say this: "You've changed." What we hear all the time. The thing we get most of the time is you've not quite. We don't quite get NPD, but often I get my clients. They'll come to me, and this is the story. This is just one generic story, but this story can fit on over 100 guys who are watching this right now, who are in Men of Action. They're talking to a girl who they used to have a crush on, or they had a crush on. They join my program. They start working on their fitness. They start working on their social media. They start working on their ability to communicate, their ability to lead, and they have more abundance with dating. They start posting pictures of them out having fun with other attractive women, and then the women that they used to like say, hey, you've changed, right before those women sleep with those men, and then later call those same men narcissists. That I have seen often.
Can a guy go from being just like average Joe to suddenly becoming a narcissist?
I think
something you can develop, or is it like genetic?
I think it's something you can develop.
You usually develop this in adolescence.
Yeah, because I think you can unlearn some of those behaviors as well. I've seen that happen with the same guy I was talking about that I dated. He's unlearned tons of the behaviors that he had before, and I see a very different man in front of me today.
Are you saying he's gotten treatment for NPD and has walked all these traits back, or?
Yeah, that, and also just starting to be more aware of other people's emotions in the way that he affects them, instead of just focusing solely on self.
Right.
So I think, he's when I say totally different person, I mean a totally different
person.
Yeah,
there are people I definitely met who are narcissists. Like, they're above everyone else. That's the main thing I look for, is above everyone else. But whenever I want to hear about someone's narcissist, I need to talk to that person. Well, the problem is when I'm hearing the description of that person through the lens of the person they broke up with, then there's always some distortion. I can tell you, in every relationship that I broke up with, I had to go back years later and say, I did something wrong here. What did I do wrong? Most people will never do that. Most people, when a relationship ends, they are just the victim.
No,
so,
you have to. It takes two people to tango, regardless. Whether what you did wrong is I stayed too long, I allowed too much. There's always going to be something that you could have done better. Just like every day, you could look back at your day and say, I did really great today. I accomplished goals. I did these great things. But hey, what do I want to do better tomorrow?